Hi, welcome back to Self-Wired Happiness. My name is Kanini. Here at Self-Wired Happiness, we unlock the secrets to a long, happy, and successful life. In today's video, we are going to talk about why we have a tendency to get addicted. More than any other generation in history, we get addicted to the internet, pills, alcohol, gambling, shopping, you name it. We have a tendency, undeniably, to get addicted. Today, I'm taking the chicken arugula salad from the Fresh Brothers here in Newport. I would not eat this salad if it didn't give me any pleasure. I have ordered it enough times to know that I like it, and that's why I keep going there. If I did not like this salad, I would not order it. The only reason that I order this salad is because it gives me pleasure. As human beings, we don't do anything that does not give us pleasure. When you get hungry, like I did before I ate the salad, your body is telling you, you need to do something. Go get me nutrition. And once you find the nutrition and you give it to your body rewards you. It sends a neurotransmitter called dopamine with information to other neurons in your body to tell them that you need to be rewarded with a very good feeling because you have achieved your goal. You found nutrition. So the next time you start feeling bad, you automatically go look for nutrition and you feel good. This is called the reward system of the body. The body is rewarding you for good behavior. And that is why we tend to repeat actions that give us a hit of dopamine. People who are addicted to drugs or activities like gambling, they repeat those actions because those actions are giving them free dopamine. They just by taking drugs, they'll get a dopamine effect, a rewarding effect in their body, and that makes them want to do more. Like, hey, you're giving me free dopamine just for getting the drugs. They just feel good, just the way you feel good after you eat. They feel good when they do those activities like gambling or shopping or taking sugar. They get that feel good feeling and they want more of that. In the next clip, I'm going to show you a video of how that happens, how drugs are able to hijack your reward system and get you hooked. And this is the reason we get hooked.
Addiction is a neurological disorder that affects the reward system in the brain. In a healthy person, the reward system reinforces important behaviors that are essential for survival, such as eating, drinking, sex, and social interaction. For example, the reward system ensures that you reach for food when you are hungry because you know that after eating, you will feel good. In other words, it makes the activity of eating pleasurable and memorable, so you would want to do it again and again whenever you feel hungry.
Addiction is only possible because we find pleasure in things. If we did not find pleasure in food, we would not eat and then we would die. If we did not find pleasure in sex, we would not partake in that activity and our population would not grow. If we did not find pleasure in drinking, we would not drink and we could die from not drinking. It's important that the body rewards us for doing these things.
Engaging in enjoyable activities generates action potentials in dopamine-producing neurons of the VTA. This causes dopamine release from the neurons into the synaptic space. Dopamine then binds to and stimulates dopamine receptor on the receiving neuron. This stimulation by dopamine is believed to produce the pleasurable feelings or rewarding effects.
When you're eating food, at some point you start feeling that the food that you once enjoyed like 2 minutes ago is now starting to become boring and you want to stop eating altogether, forget about it. Why does that happen? The dopamine you are getting from the body telling you keep on eating, this is good, goes back. The brain puts some brakes on the dopamine, takes the dopamine back. You stop feeling good about the food because the brain wants to stop the food because you already had enough.
Dopamine molecules are then removed from the synaptic space and transported back into the transmitting neuron by a special protein called dopamine transporter.
If the brain kept telling you to keep eating, you would keep eating. And this is what drugs do. The drugs make it impossible for the brain to take the dopamine back. Imagine if you just kept on eating all the time until you die. It happens to some people. That is how you get addicted, when you just keep getting rewarded and rewarded and rewarded by your brain with dopamine, and there is no break.
Cocaine acts at the nerve terminal, It binds to dopamine transporter and blocks the reuptake of dopamine. Methamphetamine, a psychostimulant, acts similarly to cocaine in blocking dopamine removal.
In the next video, you're going to see even how drugs have the ability to steal dopamine from the cell and release it so that you feel good. In fact, it's like now you can just get dopamine from a drug without doing anything because it's stealing dopamine from the cells and releasing it by a corrupt means, literally corrupting the brain. Because when you do something, you need to get rewarded. But this case is you're getting rewarded because the drugs is stealing dopamine and releasing it, and you didn't even have to work for it.
In addition, it can enter the neuron into the dopamine-containing vesicles, where it triggers dopamine release even in the absence of action potentials. Different drugs act in different ways.
Believe it or not, they have found that sugar is more addictive than cocaine. I don't know about you, but when I'm on a sugar rush, I can buy candy, eat that candy, and then feel like I want to take 10 more into my mouth because I just want to get that feeling of highness that the sugar gives you. That's what drugs, they want you to keep getting that dopamine and more of it endlessly.
But the common outcome is that dopamine builds up in the synapse to a much greater amount than normal. This causes a continuous stimulation, maybe overstimulation of receiving neurons. Most drugs of abuse increase the level of dopamine in the reward pathway. Some drugs such as alcohol, heroin, and nicotine indirectly excite the dopamine-producing neurons in the VTA so that they generate more action potentials.
But at some point, you can't chase that high too long without the high getting you.
Repeated exposure to dopamine surges caused by drugs eventually desensitizes the reward system. The system is no longer responsive to everyday stimuli. The only thing that is rewarding is the drug. That is how drugs change the person's life priority. After some time, even the drug loses its ability to reward, and higher doses are required to achieve the rewarding effect. This ultimately leads to drug overdose.
You need more and more and more of them so that they can give you that high, that rush of highness that they give you. And this is when people actually die because your body can only take too much, regardless of what the pleasure centers in your brain are telling you. When the brain's reward system is messed up, when you don't have to work hard for things to get pleasure, it becomes a really, really bad thing. You start messing yourself up. Anything that's extremely pleasurable is bad for you. Everyone has the potential to get addicted to something. In the next video, I'm going to show you who is more likely to get addicted. Thanks again for tuning in to Self-Wired Happiness. I love you. Please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, namaste.